Hello, and welcome back to the Elite Challenge. Last time, for the first time ever, we had 3 competitors make it all the way to the lofty heights of Stage 3, with Weapon Mac coming out on top to take first place. Now, with 50 competitors ready and raring to go, welcome to the Elite Challenge Tournament 8. The tournament starts in the same place as always, as competitors are first tasked with defeating Stage 1. This time around it consists of a brand new first obstacle, the Wrecking Ball, made up of 4 steps, and then a grapple off of the aforementioned Wrecking Ball to the other side of the platform. Make the landing and you will be faced with the same old framed obstacle, this time cut down slightly, only 7 windows instead of the previous 9. Traverse back and forth across the windows and you're greeted once again with the wall remaining unchanged as its effectiveness is very pronounced. Make it up to the top of there and you're greeted with another new obstacle. This one is called the Waveform. 3 angled runways with a corner jump in between. Go from rail to rail to rail. Make the landing either on top of the wall or on the platform. And then make your way to the bigger, better, the biggest ever. It's the Curtain Slider, now with a second upper deck to allow competitors easier access to the coat hangers should they choose to take that path. This time the coat hangers in a downward pattern. How will that change strategies? And once again they lead on to the triple fire escape, this time angled out forward to the right, so competitors will need to keep their wits about them to not get lost. And then the return of a classic, Crash Mountain, replacing the outgoing Crash Valley. Head up the track, avoid the balls, and make the jump across, and detonate the landmine. And you will be heading on to Stage 2 if you manage to do it within the 130 second time limit. Let's see if any of the competitors will be able to make it this far. Time to find out. And the first competitor up is the former Halo Sasuke host who last appeared in Tournament 5, Atlantic Champ. Went out on the coat hangers in his last appearance. He's been gone for a little while, making his return onto the Wrecking Ball. 130 seconds are ticking away. Atlantic Champ now going for the grapple. Off the ball, lots of height, makes it to the landing platform, now into the windows of frame. First window trying to skip straight to the 4th, but Atlantic down and out already, and that is a quick return for Atlantic Champ. Next up is K-Fly, a member of the group of people who have competed on every single The Elite Challenge so far, coming out with a turret, intending on meaning business. He's failed the wall in the last 2 tournaments, 3 times in total, so he's definitely got a goal in mind. Beat the wall, but he's got to get there first. K-Fly, flying through the air, and landing, completing the Wrecking Ball, now onto framed. Going left to right to left to right, moving swiftly as K-Fly, and now onto the wall. Choosing to use the right hand pathway and making good progress. K-Fly, he overjumps it, but he saves it lower down. Second time's the charm, K-Fly. Third time maybe. He's made it up to that second ledge and now he's back on the move. K-Fly up to the 5th ledge, up to the top, and K-Fly becomes the first competitor to attempt the waveform. Heads straight into it with gusto, makes the first corner jumps. The rails get narrower and narrower to increase the degree of difficulty, but no problem for K-Fly as he's straight onto the Curtain Slider. But he misses the step up. K-Fly down, not quite out yet, but soon enough the water will claim him, I'm sure. There he goes. Good performance though from K-Fly. And now flying out of the cannon once again, this is Avowz the Samurai. This is his 6th appearance. He failed the coat hangers in the last tournament. His 130 seconds are off as he's on to the Wrecking Ball. Now Vows goes for the grapple. He goes up high. Not much distance, but he uses a second grapple off the crane boom. That's perfectly allowed, and Vows making it with a lot of distance to spare. Now into framed. Slowing the pace down a bit. Being more deliberate. Doesn't want to slip up at this early stage of affairs. As Vows makes it to the wall. He also goes for the right hand side route. Making it up the ledges. All the way to the top in one shot. And Vows now onto the waveform. Once again heads into it, sprints up high, gets a lot of height. Makes the third ledge. Lands on the top of the vertical wall. Now this will allow him access to the upper rung of the curtain slider. Which if nothing else will allow him the ability to make a mistake and potentially save it lower down. But Vows not making any mistakes so far. He's flying through the air, back onto the coat hangers. Looking to try and get up onto the top. Using a bit of time, Vows. He's given up on that. He's choosing to go to the next hanger, but he's slipped out, and down and out goes Vows the Samurai. What a shame. Next up is a newcomer to the Elite Challenge, but someone we have very high hopes for. This is Captain J09. It's from the Halo parkour community. He's recently stumbled onto a Spartan Sasuke tournament and actually made a very deep run. How will he get on with a bit of preparation? Well, very quickly through the Wrecking Ball is the answer. Captain J flying through the air, landing on the platform, and now into the windows of framed. Skips the second one altogether, but goes back and forth across the rest. Captain J beats framed, now onto the wall. In practice, he was very fast through the course, so hoping to keep that momentum going through the waveform. First to second, second to third, easy as pie. Now can he make it up high? Yes he can. Choosing instead to go for the low route on the curtain slider. Takes the momentum out, jumps up, transitions to the top set of rungs, starts to pick the pace back up, goes down low. Keeping a lot of momentum as Captain J had to take some out there on the second coat hanger, but he's flying through those as well. And now onto the triple fire escape. Captain J, 66 seconds still remaining, but he's slipped up. That's his first mistake all run. And he makes it again. Captain J, pressure could be starting to get to him. He's got to get moving on these fire escapes. Can't afford to take too long on them. Can't afford to take them lightly either, as in the last couple of tournaments they have started to rack up a few failures. But Captain J climbing towards the sky, 40 seconds left to go, as he's heading for the first sight of Crash Mountain. Makes it onto the mountain itself, and Captain J choosing to try and hug the left hand side, jumping it atop the balls. Captain J navigating this very well. Last few balls starting to try and trip him up. He's gotten the last one in front of him, punches it out of the way, makes the jump, and Captain J, 18.35 seconds, becomes the first competitor onto stage 2 today after only 4 runners. If the math keeps up, this could be good for the competitors. Now looking to build upon the newcomer Captain J's success. Another newcomer, this is Twizzolotus, into the Wrecking Ball. Also trying to move very quickly. Grabs the grapple. Goes for the grapple onto the ball. No, doesn't fire! Twizzolotus down and out early. What a shame for him. Next up, returning from the previous tournament, this is Brendan, the host of the Halo Draft Championship, which has just come to an end. Keep an eye out for the next edition of that. But for now, Brendan onto the Elite Challenge. First up is the Wrecking Ball. First step, second to the third. Brendan to the fourth. Grabs the grapple, goes up high. And he's going to get the distance. Brendan beats the obstacle. Now onto framed. First window. Second. Third. Going for the fourth. And the fifth. Brendan looking solid. Not the fastest, but everything's very deliberate. Moving to the left on the wall. Checking for height. Makes the jump. Going for the next. Brendan. Third ledge. Looking for the fourth. Makes it. Now up to the 5th. Makes that as well. Brendan could be about to beat the wall here. 6th ledge and Brendan up and over. Very lethal to a lot of the racing community members is the wall. And now Brendan onto the waveform. Goes very high but makes the landing. Looking to try and do that again. Doesn't make the corner this time though. Brendan backing up. Doesn't want to go out here. He's got a good run going. Even if the clock has started to go against him. But Brendan going for the big jump. And he's landed it on the very narrow ledge. Looking to complete the waveform. And he lands it. Has to run around the wall. Now onto the curtain slider. First ledge. Saves it. Sets up for the second. Almost over jumps, but saves that as well. Now going for the third. Big jump from Brendan. Can he take the momentum out? No, he can't. Brendan down and out. But a game performance from the HT Draft host. Next up, we have another Halo racer. This is Nike 2000. And in the last 2 tournaments, he's made it to and failed the curtain slider. Can he go better than that today? He's got some way to go before that though, as Nike through the wrecking ball. Up high, makes the landing. Now into frame. First window to the second. Third. Fourth. Almost overshoots, but he manages to pull it back. And Nike completes framed and he's onto the wall. Another competitor down that right hand side. Nike all the way to the top and Nike beats the obstacle. Now up the waveform. Makes the first transition easy. Second transition, Nike not even stopping to line it up. He's flying through the course. 84 seconds left as he's onto the curtain slider. It's taken him out a few times in the past. And he seems to be learning from the mistakes. Nike taking the momentum out. Not rushing, choosing to use the upper set of ledges. Nike, penultimate ledge. Last one. Now can he get to the coat hangers? Yes he can. And straight to the top of the second one. Nike starting to make the descent. Going one by one by one. Making sure to make each landing. Now a big jump to the fire escape and he's landed it. Nike. Unknown territory. And he slipped down the fire escape. Nike, oh no. He's hit himself on every ledge on the way down and out for the IMSA photographer. Next up we have Spider Case, one of the DRL hosts. He has failed the wall in the last 2 tournaments. He's expecting a fail on there again today. But let's hope he proves himself wrong. Spider Case into the course. Onto the wrecking ball. To the third ledge. 4. Going for the grapple. Flies through the air. Makes the landing. Now into framed. No, out of framed. Straight down the middle. Spider missed the ledge completely. And that is unfortunate. Next up, another of the DRL hosts, and also the host of the Halo Tracks Time Trial series. This is Squeezu, and he's failed the wall in the last 5 consecutive tournaments. So he's looking to go one better than that today. And he's already flown through the wrecking ball, now into framed. This obstacle, relatively new to Squeezu, because it usually comes after the wall. But Squeezu having no problem with it whatsoever this time around. Makes it all the way through and now onto his nemesis. Straight up to the third ledge. The fourth, the fifth. Squeezu absolutely flying up the wall. It's given him so many problems in the past, but not today. Squeezu now onto the waveform. Trying to go up and over the top. That's not going to work. It's a bit too high for that. Running back and forth to build up a bit of momentum. Round the ledge he goes. Makes the transfer. Makes the second transfer. Lands it. Squeezu up onto the very top of the landing platform. Choosing to drop down onto the curtain slider. Second ledge. Going for the third. Going very fast. Doesn't make the height though. And Squeezu down and out on the curtain slider. But he'll still be very happy with that nonetheless. Up next, we have the top newcomer from Tournament 7. This is Opixonic. He made it all the way to the curtain slider in the last tournament. So he's going to be looking to go even better today. 130 seconds on the clock. And Opix flying through the air with the greatest of ease. Landing it, beating the Wrecking Ball, now into framed. Back and forth between the windows. And Opix making light work of framed, now onto the wall. Nearly overshoots the ledge there, manages to pull himself back. Opix struggling to make the jump. Come on Opix, get it together. There you go, made it up to the second ledge, the third, the fourth, very quick, starting to pick the pace up a bit now. Knows he's lost a bit of time. Now onto the waveform. Opix dropping in. Makes a transfer. First competitor we've seen go to this left-hand near side while doing the transfer, but Opix makes it nonetheless. Now onto the curtain slider. Opix. No, he has also not made the upward ledge. What a shame. That's another competitor out in the same manner. Next up we have another competitor with business to deal with on the curtain slider. This is D-Mills NY. Failed the curtain slider as well in the past, and he's up for his 130 seconds. He's looking to go deep once again. D-Mills flying through the air. Beats the Wrecking Ball and now into framed. Left to right to left to right, back and forth. Getting all the way to the end and now onto the wall. Starting to make his way up the ledges on that right hand side. D-Mills doesn't quite make it onto that shorter ledge. Manages to save it below though. And gets back a rhythm up, beats the wall. Now onto the waveform. Dropping in. Makes the transfer. Going for the second transfer. Makes that as well. Now going for the landing platform. Goes up very high. Ooh, only just makes the distance. But D-Mills onto the curtain slider. First ledge. Second. Goes for the big jump to the third. Takes the momentum out. Goes up high. Goes up high again. D-Mills penultimate ledge. Lands it safely. Final ledge. Think he was going for the top one there, but he slipped down low. But either way, made it onto the coat hangers. No, he's gone off. Didn't quite make the jump onto the top of that second hanger. What a shame for D-Mills. Next up is another newcomer. This is Cabo Bonito 15. And he's sliding his way along to the course. Cabo Bonito, 130 seconds underway. Onto the Wrecking Ball. Makes it short of the third ledge, and unfortunately he's out early. Up next we have another 100%er. This is El Booker Taco. There's another competitor hoping to go deep on his 8th attempt. Booker now onto the 4th ledge. Gets the grapple. Goes for the landing platform. And Booker's come up short! That is a shock. El Booker Taco down and out. Next up, another newcomer though. One of the most experienced competitors to a newcomer. This is Tun V101 taking on the course for his first time. How will Tun V do? First up, the Wrecking Ball. Makes his way all the way to the third ledge, the fourth. He gets the grapple off, gets the height. Does he get the distance? Yeah, easily. Tun V makes the landing. Now into framed. Second window to the third. To the fourth. Looking for the fifth, makes it. Sprints for the seventh. Tun V taking a little shortcut, gaining a bit of time back. Oh, but he's missed the first jump on the wall and overcorrected, and Tun V down and out. What a shame. Next up we have Shadowrun 132. Failed Crash Valley in the last tournament, so he knows how to go deep on the Elite Challenge. And Shadowrun, 130 seconds, he's off. Straight through the ledges of the Wrecking Ball, flying through the air, makes the landing. Now into framed. First window for Shadowrun, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. Now onto the wall. Shadowrun, one of the members of the 100% Club on the Elite Challenge. This is his 8th appearance, one of the most experienced competitors at this course. But he will be new to the waveform, but he's making easy work of it. And now Shadowrun onto the curtain slider. First ledge, second. Going for the speed, takes the momentum out, goes up high. Shadowrun, one of many competitors looking that they have dialed in a technique on the curtain slider now. Now onto the coat hangers. Shadowrun making good progress, still over a minute to go, 65 seconds just ticking by. Plenty of time as things stand. Shadowrun now making the jump to the triple fire escape. And he begins the climb on the first ladder. Shadowrun all the way to the top, no mistakes. Transfers to the second. Gets back some momentum, has a little slip on the trick ledge in the middle. But Shadowrun gets back going again, doesn't quite make it to the top. Now he does, 36 seconds to go, final ladder. Penultimate jump. Comes up short again, makes it all the way to the top. Now onto the crash mountain, nearly gets hit by a ball straight away. 2 more clip him. It's rocky going for Shadowrun, but he's making good progress. The ball's now starting to come down en masse, and the last one clips him, knocks him back. Shadowrun negotiates the last couple, gets one to the head, the buzzer starts to sound, and Shadowrun, he doesn't hit the button first time, but second time of asking, Shadowrun makes it to the end of the stage, 4.58 seconds to go, and he'll be heading on to stage 2 for his first time. And that's the second competitor through today in 15. And Shadowrun there celebrating, I believe that's Fremo Direct watching on with him, amongst others, over on the beach. And another 8 appearance competitor, this is Tarmac Griffin 42. And he's going to hit the course with gusto. He always says he will use all of his skill and experience. And he's come up and slid off the third ledge. Tarmac Griffin down and out early once again. Maybe someday he will get further. Up next, Virus GR42. He failed the wall last time in the Great Sim Racer Purge, it seems like. Almost all of the sim racing competitors failed the wall in the last tournament. And Virus from Greece, making his way through the Wrecking Ball steps. Now he's got the grapple, fires it off, and Virus, and he doesn't make it. He comes up short just like Booker. That is a big shame. Next up we have Bussy666, who's had an interesting career so far on the Elite Challenge. He's either failed the first obstacle or he's gotten fairly far. Which one of those will come true today? As Bussy taking his time, picking up an extra grapple, trying to stand on the top of the step so that he can get closer. Needs a second grapple shot, but he makes it. He's actually up on top of the Wrecking Ball there. Runs across the top and grapples the landing platform. So ingenuity shown there from the Dutchman. And now he's into the windows of Framed. Third window. Looking for the fourth. Gets it. Now the fifth. To the sixth. Bussy. A good performance going so far. Now onto the wall. He made it all the way to the top of the wall back in Tournament 6 before falling all the way down. And he's come down again. Bussy defeated by the wall. What a shame. Up next now, out of the cannon atop the entrance cave, this is Makofoven. And another competitor looking to get their revenge on the wall. But first up, the Wrecking Ball. Grabs the grapple hook, Makofoven flying through the air. That's a low cancel, and Makofoven down and out, doesn't make the distance. And he's out on the first obstacle. Next up, Scar666 Dead. Made his debut in the last tournament where he went out on the wall. How will he fail this time around? Scar making the jumps across the steps. Picks up the grappling hook. Looking for the Wrecking Ball. Gets the grapple, gets the distance. Scar makes the landing. Now on to Framed. First window. Looking to line up for the second. Makes it. Hits his head on the top of the frame, but still manages to land it. Not the second time though. Landed right on the tip of his toe and slipped off. Now up next we have Coveralis. Another person looking to try and get revenge on the wall. And his 130 seconds are underway. And Coverall is straight off of the second ledge. That must have been a miscalculation there, as here comes Creepy Tomcat, armed with a turret. He's made it to the 5th obstacle in the past under the coaching of Frimomo Direct. Will any of that have still sunk in, as Creepy Tomcat making his way through the Wrecking Ball? Looking for the grappling hook. Gets it. Gets up high. Makes the distance and makes the landing. And now Creepy Tomcat into framed. This was one of the obstacles that he was taught how to beat. And does he remember the strat? No, he doesn't. Creepy Tomcat down and out. And that's a shame. Next up, Disappoint 2919 for his 7th appearance. Failed the coat hangers in the last tournament for the 2nd time. So he's got an obstacle that he's got in mind to beat. But he doesn't want to settle for that. He wants to clear the stage. He's already beaten the Wrecking Ball and now into framed. Skips the windows, straight to the 4th, to the 5th, lining up a skip again all the way to the end, and Disappoint, 106 seconds left as he gets to the wall. Starting to climb on that right hand side, makes up to the 5th ledge, makes the skip jump up to the top, and now onto the waveform. Drops in, makes the first transition, backs up for the 2nd, gets a bit of speed, very low jump, but makes it. And Disappoint all the way through, now onto the curtain slider. First ledge, 2nd, 3rd, gets the save, cuts the momentum, goes up high, and then starts to build back up again. Disappoint all the way to the end of the obstacle, and he saves it. Now the coat hangers. Brought him down last time, skipping 2 at a time. Oh, almost overshot there, but managed to get a very late save. Disappoint to the end of the obstacle, and Disappoint beats the coat hangers, and now he starts to climb up the triple fire escape. Little bit of a problem with the last jump there on the first ladder, but makes the transfer to the 2nd. 45 to go. The Disappoint needs to keep things clean. Can't really afford too many more mistakes from here. And sure enough, doesn't make any more mistakes on the fire escape. Now he's lining up Crash Mountain. Find a convenient entry point, runs straight into the first ball. And he's punching his way through. Trying to jump over as many as he can, getting rolled backwards is Disappoint. The balls are starting to gang up on him. Slowing his progress, but Disappoint flying through in the end. Makes it 8.96 seconds left on the clock, and Disappoint back to... for the first time is going to stage 2. That makes 3 competitors so far, all first time clears. Disappoint joining that list. Next up we have a Wax Your Gravy 42, newcomer to the Elite Challenge. How will he fare? Straight through the Wrecking Ball, looking for the grapple. On, he gets a low cancelled. Wax Your Gravy tries to save it with a 2nd grapple onto the landing platform, but to no avail, and he's down and out. Up next is Alabama Chris. Alabama Chris into the course with gusto. But out of the course with gusto, there goes Alabama Chris. And that is the halfway point of stage 1. As here we have the final newcomer in the tournament. This is Sweet Tea 1020. And Sweet Tea doesn't even get the jump off the first ledge of the Wrecking Ball. That is a shame. And now we have Hi, I'm Galactic returning to the course. Failed the curtain slider in the last tournament, but Galactic looking to go far today. Now onto the Wrecking Ball, 130 seconds, and Galactic beats the last few competitors with ease as he makes it through to the grappling hook, and Galactic soaring through the air makes the landing. Now onto framed. First window to the 2nd and the 3rd. Galactic moving well. 4th window, 5th, 6th, 7th. Only just behind Disappoint's time at this stage. And Disappoint managed to do some skips. So can Galactic keep the pace? Makes it all the way up the wall in that full diagonal, and Galactic now onto the waveform. Jumps into it, lines it up. First transfer, easy enough. Going for the second. Makes it. Now looking to try and get to the landing. Galactic doesn't really worry about height, just goes for distance, and now onto the curtain slider. Brought them down in the last tournament, but Galactic learning from past mistakes, taking the momentum out, going up high. Now looking for that final ledge, drops down low, manages to save it. Now lining up the coat hangers, 50 seconds to go for Galactic. Second to the third, to the fourth, fifth. Almost coming up short, having to do a quick reset. But Galactic down to the final coat hanger. Jumps up top, makes it across to the fire escapes, but time not on his side. 30 seconds left on the clock. Galactic starts to climb. Can't really be affording mistakes like that as they slide back down to the bottom. And Galactic slipping and sliding all over the place on this first ladder, starting to get a bit of momentum together now, but there's only 10 seconds left. The buzzer sounds, and Hi, I'm Galactic. Only really out for the personal victory now. Can't make it through from here. As time expires, Galactic is eliminated. But we'll see if they can make it to the end of the course. Now on to Crash Mountain. First ball almost knocks Galactic back onto the ladders. Probably the last thing that he'd want at this point. And Galactic starts to move. Will he make it to the end of the stage? Gets hit by the ball, gets double tapped, gets juggled. Like in any respectable fighting game, and Hi, I'm Galactic down for the count. Up next, we have Vitamin 5386, returning from the last tournament where he failed the wall. Looking for an improvement today as Vitamin 130 seconds underway into the Wrecking Ball. First step, second to the third, to the fourth. Grabs the grapple. Big jump in, big grapple, and comes up short. Just like Booker Taco, Makofoven and Virus did. And now, we watch from atop the crane as a very confident competitor arrives at the start line. This is Junsato Cyan in position 29, and in every single one of the previous tournaments, spot 29 has delivered a first time clear. And Junsato Cyan, he said to me when the runs were going on, I'm confident, put me in at number 29, I'm going to keep the streak going. So how will Cyan live up to his own expectations? He's through the Wrecking Ball quickly, now through Framed. And also, he's a bit ahead of what Disappoint was, and we saw Disappoint cleared with some spare time. So Cyan on course so far, he just has to make sure to keep his cool, keep his rhythm, and defeat the obstacles. He's halfway through the waveform. Onto the third ramp, makes it up, makes the landing, gets round the corner, now onto the curtain slider. Cyan cuts the momentum, makes the jump up, sliding down, keeps the speed, looking to transfer to the coat hanger, still over 70 seconds to go, goes up to the very top, starts to skip some on the way down. To the final coat hanger, he's made it now onto the triple fire escape. This is where Cyan came up short in the last tournament. He's still got over 50 seconds to go, but he's slipping and sliding on that first fire escape. 45 seconds at the top of the first ladder. You gotta move, Cyan. Second ladder, dealing with it far better than the first, all the way up to the top. 35 seconds now to go. And up to the top of this next ladder. No, he slid down once again. Cyan having a few struggles. Makes it to the top of the fire escape. Now onto Crash Mountain. He's got a favourable ball cycle. And he gets hit once, twice, thrice. Cyan riding the punches. Makes it around that ball. Here comes the next wave. First one pushes him back. Buzzer sounding, but Cyan's in sight. He makes it before the big wave. Junsato Cyan. 4.84 seconds, and his confidence was not misplaced. Junsato Cyan through to stage 2. Way to go, Cyan. That is 4 competitors through for their first time. And will we get a 5th? As we have the return of the host of Irish Warrior. He failed the coat hangers in Tournament 6 in his last appearance. And Irish is back once again onto the Wrecking Ball. Still looking for his first success. I believe it was way back in Tournament 3. He came up just shy of the finish platform. But he's got to get there first. And Irish making his way through framed. He's choosing to stay crouched to avoid hitting his head. It is a little bit slower, but it should in theory be a bit safer. And Irish through the window frames. 97 seconds to go though. He's a bit behind on time. Now he heads his way up the wall. Irish making each jump count. All the way up to the top of the wall. Now onto the waveform. Jumps into it. Lines it up. Makes the first transfer. And he overcorrects. Irish down and out on the waveform. And that is going to have to go down as a shot. Next up is Caden Wyatt 21. Who is the first competitor in this tournament to have gone to stage 2 before. Will he get back there again? 130 seconds underway for Caden Wyatt, formerly known as Bray Wyatt 21. And Caden flying through the air. Failed the wall in Tournament 6. Timed out in Tournament 7, so he's definitely got some challenges ahead of him as he skips to the final window of framed. Makes it to the wall. Doesn't want to go down on this again, choosing instead to be the first competitor this tournament to keep all the way to the left. And Caden up and over. Now into the waveform. Makes the first transfer easy enough. Makes the second. Lands it. Shoots for the landing platform and he makes it. Now onto the curtain slider. First ledge. Second. Goes for the big one for the third. Cuts the momentum. Goes up high. Back down low. Caden keeps it under control. Makes the landing. Penultimate ledge, going for the final one, makes it. Now onto the coat hangers. To the second, straight to the fourth, save jumps. Straight to the sixth, to the seventh, to the eighth. Caden to the fire escapes. 55 seconds to go at the bottom of the ladders, and Caden Wyatt starting to climb. Just like Cyan though, having a few troubles on that first ladder, but makes it to the top. Now onto the second ladder. And Caden starting to pick the pace back up once again, up to the second ladder, transfers to the third. He's climbing his way towards the top of the obstacle. Starting to come into some issues in the middle of this third ladder, but makes it to the top. 25 seconds to go. Lining up Crash Mountain. Runs into it, gets a jump off the first ball, gets a jump off the second ball, gets a jump off the third ball. Caden Wyatt has a strategy and he's implementing it well, trying to jump off the top of the balls, but now they're starting to beat him up. The buzzer's sounding. You're this close, Caden, come on, get there, and he makes the jump. Caden Wyatt to the buzzer, 2.79 seconds left on the clock, and that is another competitor making it through to stage 2 today. Congratulations, Caden. Now, will anybody else make it through as the tidal waves start to build? Next up, HaloFan176461. He's been to stage 2 before, where he failed on the U-turn back in Tournament 5. Had a few tournaments away, but HaloFan back in action on the Elite Challenge. And back into the skies from the Wrecking Ball, makes the landing, and now into framed. First window to the second, to the third, and the fourth, to the fifth, sixth, seventh. HaloFan onto the wall. Now starts to climb. That left-hand side diagonal route. Goes for the skip to the top, makes it, and HaloFan onto the waveform. Jumps into it. Oh, nearly slides straight off, but manages to save it. Can't afford too many more mistakes like that, HaloFan. The course will bite you. Makes the big jump up across over the wall, and now onto the curtain slider. First ledge to the second. Goes for the third. Cuts the momentum. Goes up high to the next ledge, choosing to go instead across all the way up to the top. And Halo Fan, using the momentum of the big slide to make the jump onto the curtain slider. Sorry, onto the coat hangers. Now up to the top, starts to skip them on the way down. Halo Fan, another competitor to the bottom of the triple fire escape with 55 seconds on the clock. Makes the skip up a ledge though, and Halo Fan already up to the top of the first ladder. Now to the second ladder, starting to climb and climbing very fast. 41 seconds to go at the top of the second ladder. Halo Fan is really motoring along, climbing towards the sky. 33 seconds at the top of the triple fire escape. Now into Crash Mountain. Jumps the first ball, jumps the second, jumps the third, gets hit by the fourth, starts to get knocked back, gets caught in the air, manages to jump off another one. Halo Fan starting to get pushed back and pushed back. 15 seconds to go and Halo Fan gets rolled off the side. That is a huge shame. Heartbreakingly close there for Halo Fan. Up next, competitor 33. This is Flamosaurus, the host of Spartan Ninja Warrior. He's cleared way back in Tournament 1, but hasn't repeated that success since. He's failed Crash Valley and Crash Mountain in the last 3 tournaments consecutively. So will Flame manage to get that far today? He's made it through the Wrecking Ball with ease and now onto Framed. Back and forth through the windows. Makes it to the end. Now onto the wall. Straight into that right hand side ascent. Makes the skip up to the top. Flame now onto the waveform. He drops in. Straight away heading for the first transfer. Saves it. Very nearly slipped off there on that first transfer. Makes the second with ease all the way up to the top of the wall. Slides over the backside of it, but Flame starting to pick the pace back up again. Cuts the momentum on the curtain slider. Chooses to go for the high route. And Flame all the way to the very top there. Starts to build some momentum. Uses the slide off the curtain slider to make the jumps on the descent. Flame goes for the triple skip and he comes up short on the last one. That is a shame for Flame. But up next is the Worker of Meme. Another competitor who has big history with the crash obstacles. He's failed them in tournaments 3, 6 and 7. But Meme has made it to stage 2 before. Can he do it again today? Flies through the air on the Wrecking Ball. Now into Framed. Makes the transfers. Not the fastest, but very deliberate is the Worker of Meme. Either way, he's got to the wall in quite a quick time. 105 seconds at the bottom. Starts to climb. Meme. Got a weird technique, but it's working for him. He hits the ledge and then goes up on top of it. Suppose that would prevent you from over jumping, but it's working for him. Now into the waveform. Makes the transfers. Jumps up onto the top of the wall. Over the top. Now onto the curtain slider as the camera goes a bit haywire. Meme cuts the momentum. Makes the jump up. Goes all the way to the top. And the Worker of Meme along the top set of ledges. He's also going to use a bit of momentum to get onto the coat hangers. Taking them one at a time. It's a bit slower, but a bit less risky. But Meme makes it all the way to the bottom of the triple fire escape, and yet another competitor landing on this obstacle with 55 seconds to go. The Worker of Meme now making the big climb up the ladders towards Crash Mountain. 40 seconds to go. One more ladder. Meme. He's run out of time way back in Tournament 1. This time he's got 30 seconds to attempt the last obstacle. And he's got a plasma pistol. New for this, the Elite Challenge, competitors have a wider array of weaponry to choose from, and the Worker of Meme really being the first one to utilize the plasma pistol as a stopping power against the balls. They're still providing him hard work. The buzzer sounding. Meme really close to the edge, nearly gets rolled off. Come on, Meme, 3 seconds, 2.14 seconds, and the Worker of Meme makes it back to stage 2. Yet another competitor making it to the finish line, and Meme clearly very happy with himself. The plasma pistol strats coming in handy. at this late stage. We join now from the top of the Wrecking Ball as Fluffy B approaches the course. The editor of Aborigines Warrior and of the Halo Jump Olympics videos from the Gordini games. Everyone should go check those out. But Fluffy B, he's flying through the air, landing, beats the Wrecking Ball. He cleared back on his debut in Tournament 5. But in Tournament 6 and Tournament 7, he came up short on the curtain slider, and he was really hoping for another crack at it today. And Fluffy B makes his way through framed, now up to the wall, starting to make the transfer, ledge to ledge up in the diagonal, heading towards the waveform. Into it, makes the transfer, saves it, lines up the second, makes the corner jump, makes the landing, saves it again, jumping for the finish, makes it across the obstacle, and now onto the curtain slider. Choosing to start off high. We haven't seen too many competitors try this, but he's sliding down. Fluffy B, no, he slid all the way down and he didn't come up. Oh, he didn't quite make it to that next ledge and comes up short, and that's 3 in a row for Fluffy B against the curtain slider. Up next is competitor number 36. This is Snoz, another competitor making it to stage 2 in the past, looking to try and reclaim that glory. But first up, the Wrecking Ball zip lines up through the air and makes the landing. Snoz now into framed. He's come up short on this before, looking to beat it today though. Back and forth through the windows to the 6th window, lining up the 7th, makes it, and straight onto the wall. This is where he went down in the last tournament, and Snoz climbing up today, deliberate jumps, not even needing to make a single save, all the way up to the top of the wall. Now jumps and drops into the waveform, lines it up first to the 2nd, goes for that 2nd transfer to the 3rd, makes it, lands, save jumps to the landing platform. Snoz round the wall and now onto the curtain slider. Snoz doesn't need to cut the momentum though, he makes it straight up in one go. Snoz, this is probably the fastest anyone's been through the curtain slider, makes it look easy. Fluffy B, take notes. Snoz now onto the coat hangers as he's making the drop down, hanger to hanger. And now to the final one, Snoz. He's looking to try and get up onto the top of that hanger to make the dismount jump easier. Chooses to go for it instead and lands it. 40 seconds to go at the bottom. Snoz is going to have to climb. He's climbing well on the first ladder, but is it well enough? Makes the jump to the 2nd ladder. He's got him lined up now and he's making the jumps up, but has he got enough time? 20 seconds at the top of the 2nd ladder. Makes the transfer to the 3rd. Starts to climb again. Time's really going to be running against him now. Snoz to the top of the 2nd ladder. The buzzer about to sound, but Snoz lines up Crash Mount and he's got to go for it, but he's hit straight off. Snoz returned to sender off of the Crash Mountain. Someone dives in to try and save him off the top of the cliffs. That is close. And now is Smoky Massacre heading to the start line with a turret, looking to take revenge for his good friend Snoz. He's been to stage 2 in the past as well, back in Tournament 1, but just like Flame has yet to go back there again. Looking to change that today. Smoky flying through the Wrecking Ball, flying through the air, makes the landing and now into framed. 1st window, 2nd. Looking to skip straight to the 5th, straight to the 7th. Smoky Massacre. He is really attacking this course today. He's all the way up to the top of the wall before most people have even got to it. Smoky is zooming. Now onto the waveform. Making light work of the 1st transfer and the 2nd. Looking for the landing platform, makes it. Now onto the curtain slider. 1st ledge to the 2nd. 3rd. Cuts the momentum. Goes up. Keeps going up high. Smoky choosing the top line through. Up to the tippity top, going for the top of the coat hangers, but just misses the landing, manages to save it further down and starts to get back momentum again. 71 seconds at the bottom of the triple fire escape. as Smokey climbing his way towards another bout with Crash Mountain. Managing to skip the first ledge even on the second ladder. Going to the third, still climbing. 55 seconds just ticked by. Smokey makes his first slip, but he saves it again on the ladder. Now lining up Crash Mountain. There's a wave of balls coming at him. Smokey didn't like that, choosing instead to take a step backwards, wait for a better opportunity. He's also going for the plasma pistol, and he gets whacked by that second ball. Manages to save it on the ladder. Smokey, that third ladder is his new best friend as he starts firing the plasma pistol away, just like the worker of Meme did earlier. And we see Smokey making great use of it to even stop the balls still in the rack. Smokey Massacre to the finish, 18.42 seconds. And you gotta think that that could have been even faster had he not had such an interesting journey on Crash Mountain. But either way, Smokey Massacre, for the first time since Tournament 1, is going back to Stage 2. Will Gaming Brando join him? He's not been to Stage 2 in a little bit. Brando to the start line. Competitor number 38. He failed Crash Valley in the last 3 tournaments. He cleared way back in Tournament 3, but he's been having some equipment struggles today. And Brando running, he's concerned about his controller. Will that play into effect in this run? It will certainly be messing with him in the head. But Brando, so far so good. Through framed, makes it to the end of the obstacle. Save jumps. Now onto the wall. Starts to climb, going for that left-hand path, just like Caden did. Makes it all the way to the top. And beats the obstacle. The controller holding up thus far. Now onto waveform. Makes the first transfer. Lines up the second. Makes the second. Brando. Whatever troubles he was having, he's putting them aside thus far. And now he's onto the curtain slider. First ledge to the second straight away. Goes for the third. Cuts the momentum. Goes up high. Drops back down low. Brando making good progress. Cuts the momentum again. Jumps up for that final time. Now, oh, he's overjumped the coat hangers. Gaming Brando down and out. And that is spooky. At the start of the course, this is Pedro Man 618. He's cleared the Stage 1 in Tournaments 5 and 6, but failed Crash Valley in the last tournament. So Pedro looking to pick up where he left off in the 2 before that. Straight into the Wrecking Ball, taking a moment to line it up though is Pedro. But he's flying through the air now. Makes the landing, now into frame. First window to the second, to the third, to the fourth. You don't expect Pedro to hang around for long as he starts to pick the pace back up again through framed, now onto the wall. Straight up to the second ledge, choosing also to stick to the left hand side. Maybe he, Caden and Brando know something everybody else doesn't. Now into the waveform, drops in, first transfer, bang, lands it, second transfer, bang, lands it. Pedro, save jumps, now going for the dismount up to the top of the wall. Now into the curtain slider, choosing to go up the high route. Save jumps, still chooses to take the momentum out, goes very high. And dropping down, making his way along that route, chooses instead to skip the last set of ledges. Pedro, straight into the coat hangers. And now up to the top of the third one, fourth to the fifth, taking them one by one, each on the way down. Pedro to the bottom, now to the jump to the fire escape, 51 seconds to go, so around the same sort of time that Meme and Co had, maybe a little bit behind, but Pedro starting to climb on the second ladder, makes his way up to the top, now transfers to the third. Pedro climbing again. Skipping up along that right hand side, Pedro to the very top, lining up Crash Mountain. There's a gap in the balls, but Pedro choosing not to go for it, instead choosing to bide his time, demonstrating some good patience. And sure enough, looks like he's got a fairly clean cycle. Second ball up and over, chooses to punch the third one. Now they're starting to gang up on him, but they're all slowed down. Pedro clears them all in one big leap. And Pedro Man 2, Stage 2, 6.08 seconds on the clock at the buzzer. And yet another competitor, this stage 1, getting absolutely destroyed. And we still have the best of the most recent tournaments in the line ready to go. One of which is Sane the Legend, a 2-time stage 2ist, looking to get back there once again. He cleared in tournament 3 and 6, but last time out he came out and came up short early on Framed. So Sane, expecting better in this tournament, beats the Wrecking Ball and now on to Framed that beat him last time. Sane looking to take revenge, keeping low, just like Irish did. Doesn't want to risk hitting his head on the crossbar at the top, but Sane through the obstacle and now onto the wall. Choosing to use that right hand side. Sane up to the top. Now Sane onto the waveform. Drops in. Makes the first transfer. Pauses for a second to line the second one up. Makes that as well. Saves it. Very narrow still, so competitors taking that third ledge with caution. But Sane now onto the curtain slider. Now he's starting to move. Sane, oh no, he doesn't get the height. He didn't take the momentum out, went for speed and it bit him. Sane the Legend down and out. And now here's Rog, RPG 445, the Spartan Sasuke host. Failed the curtain slider in the last tournament. He's been to stage 2 before, back in tournament 3. Will he get there again? First up though for Rog is the Wrecking Ball as he flies through the air on the grappling hook, makes the landing easy enough, now into Framed. Rog also choosing to keep things low, not wanting to risk getting denied by the crossbar, but Rog to the end of Framed, now onto the wall, starts to climb up this right hand side. Rog making slower progress but deliberate. Up to the top of the wall, now onto the waveform. This is where he can start to pick the speed back up again. Rog lines up on the right hand side. Chooses to go quite a long way out and has to gather it back up again, but makes it. Same again for the second transfer. Rog now to the landing platform and now onto the curtain slider. Starts to build the pace up. He makes it up in one go. Chooses a bit of a speed strat. Rog, 65 seconds left on the clock, starting to feel the burn with the clock, starting to pick the pace up and flies through the coat hangers. Has to save it on the top of the last one, and another competitor 54 seconds onto the triple fire escape. That seems to be the goal split. 55 seconds at the bottom of the fire escapes, and Rog starts to climb. 40 seconds to go to the third ladder. Starts to make his way up ledge by ledge. Oh, but he slips down. Rog, 30 seconds to go now, starts to climb again. Might have to get a wiggle on through Crash Mountain. Waiting for an opportune entry point. Rog, 20 seconds to go. Heads into Crash Mountain. Starts to hurdle the balls. Gets clipped by another one. Gets a slide on one. They've stacked up like a snowman to try and block him, but Rog hangs on in there. He gets hit back and Rog, no, he doesn't manage to save it. 3 seconds, 2, 1. And I don't know whether Rog would have made it or not, but either way, the Bulls choosing to take matters into their own hands. Up next, we have 2-time first place finisher. This is FreeMMO Direct. He fell Crash Valley in Tournament 7 to bring his Stage 1 clear streak to an end. 5 Stage 1 clears and 2 Stage 2 clears under his belt though. Free, statistically probably the best performer in the Elite Challenge so far. How will he fare today? He's going for the framed window skips. Now onto the wall. Save jumps. Starts to climb up the wall though. And Free, he holds the Stage 1 and Stage 2 clear speed records. So you're expecting Free to move very quickly, as he is so far. 95 seconds to go and he beats the waveform. Now onto the curtain slider. Makes his way across the ledges, chooses to take the momentum out, skips the up ledge completely, just goes for the big jump. But he makes it, and Free now, second to last ledge, final ledge. Now onto the coat hangers, goes straight up top, starts to skip them on the way down. Free all the way to the bottom, 68 seconds to go onto the fire escape, so a little bit behind Smokey. But we all know what happened to Smokey on Crash Mountain, so Free could be on for another very, very strong time. He makes his way climbing up that second ladder onto the third. Climbing his way. Of course, Free has failed these way back in Tournament 1, where he made a slip up and got disorientated, but none of that today. Free also waiting for a opportune entry point into Crash Mountain. Makes the first couple of balls. Next wave coming at him. Free, 30 seconds to go. The balls have really grinded to a halt. Free, he's playing a game of inches right now. He's taking step forward after step forward. Not choosing to risk taking his feet off the ground for fear of being rolled off. He's got some time though, 15 seconds to go. Makes the jump, hits the mine, 12.92 seconds for Free Direct, as he is back to stage 2 for his 6th time in 8 tournaments. Way to go, Free. He heads to the cliffs now. Will the next competitor be inclined to take some lessons from that? This is Super Ninja Jake, and in the last tournament he cleared stage 1 for the first time in his Elite Challenge career. Now Jake looking to go back to back as he sends it into the course. 130 seconds for the 8 obstacles as he flies through the air on the Wrecking Ball. Does a 360, does a couple of 360s. Jake feeling confident into framed second window. To the third, to the fourth, save jumps, to the fifth, quickly turning around to the 6th, but he comes up short. He hit the 6th window and it removed all of his momentum, and Jake didn't make it to the end. And that is a shame. Super Ninja Jake down and out. Next up we have Mighty Max 80. He's on a 2 tournament stage 1 clear streak. Can he make it 3? As Mighty Max into the Wrecking Ball. Fires off the grappling hook, makes the landing, and Mighty Max now into frame. First window to the 2nd, to the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Avoids the uprights, gets to the 7th, and now onto the wall. Mighty Max starts to climb. Another competitor using the left-hand route. It's always interesting to see which right competitors do choose up the wall. And now Mighty Max onto the waveform. Makes the second transfer onto that narrow ledge. Lands it. Big jump to the landing. Up and over the top. And Mighty Max now onto the curtain slider. Doesn't choose to take the momentum out, but makes the height anyway. Mighty Max making progress down low. Now on to the coat hangers. Choosing to go for the far side there. Mighty Max down the coat hangers with ease, makes the jump to the bottom of the triple fire escape with a minute to go. Mighty Max now starts to climb. Hasn't really had an issue with these in the past. Up to the 2nd ladder. Unlike a lot of competitors who seem to prefer going along the edges of these, Mighty Max sticking to the center and it's working for him. The ledges are a lot thinner at the center, but clearly Mighty Max doesn't need the extra room as he gets to the top of the fire escapes and lines up Crash Mountain, choosing to wait for those 2 balls to pass. Sword out, charge in. Mighty Max getting a bit fortunate. Some of the balls have all fallen off, but now he's got a big wave lining him up, and Mighty Max plowing through it, making progress. Mighty Max now he's got under the drop. Mighty Max letting that ball roll off in front. 11 seconds, 10.02 seconds. Mighty Max, not only does he beat the stage, but he beats the buzzer as well, and he's going to be back to stage 2 for the 3rd tournament in a row. Way to go, Mighty Max. Starting to really build some momentum on the Elite Challenge. Next up, another competitor with a lot of momentum behind him. This is Fireball. He's cleared stage 1 in tournament 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7. But the obstacle he failed in 4 and 5 was Crash Valley. Now it's returning cousin Crash Mountain awaits. But will Fireball be able to get there? He flies through the air off the Wrecking Ball and lands it now into framed. Hasn't really ever had a problem with this before. And Fireball, the first competitor to stick to one side all the way to the end of Framed, now up the wall. 105 seconds, Fireball. Misses the skip twice, gets it on the third time. Fireball now dropping into the waveform. Makes the corner jump, makes the landing, second time of asking. Makes that as well, now up over the wall and onto the curtain slider. Fireball choosing to take it a bit cautiously. Oh, just about makes that upward ledge, but then starts off again at a breakneck speed. Fireball now onto the coat hangers. Down the descent. Makes it to the last one. Big jump to the fire escape, 67 seconds. And Fireball starts to climb. Makes the transfer to the second ladder. Continues to climb using the side to great effect up to the second ladder. Now to the third. Fireball sticking to that left hand side. All the way to the top, 48 seconds to go. Nearly slips off. Manages to save it and pull himself back, but Fireball into Crash Mountain. Sword drawn, ready to get into a scrap with the bulls, but he's choosing instead to jump most of them. Fireball making good progress. Big jump off the top of that bull. Big punch there, and he deflects the next couple. Fireball makes it through, makes the landing, hits the buzzer. 24.08 seconds for Fireball. And he is the second competitor this tournament through to stage 2 for their 6th appearance. So Fireball really keeping up with Free in the stats, at least as far as stage 1 is concerned. Next up is Hunter Unit 751, the host of Ninja Warrior of Halo. He failed the U-turn in the last tournament in pretty spectacular fashion, to give him credit. He's 3 times cleared stage 1, tournaments 3, 5, and 7. So will he be able to clear on an even numbered tournament? Let's find out. It's Hunter. He's beaten the Wrecking Ball. Now into Framed. Back and forth, side to side. Very quickly through. Hunter keeping it low. 105 seconds to the bottom of the wall. Now he starts to climb in the diagonal. All the way up to the top. Hunter to the top of the wall. Now the path 2 dropping into the waveform. Looking to line it up. Makes the transfer. Second to the third. Hunter save jumps. Now he's lining up the jump to the landing platform. Makes it. Now into the curtain slider. First ledge. Second. Goes for the third. Cuts the momentum out. Now up to the top. Nope, choosing to stay down low. Hunter making progress down low. Looking to go to the coat hangers. Makes the landing. Goes for the third. And he overjumps the fifth. Hunter trying to go for the skips to make up some time, but instead down and out. Next up, competitor 47. This is Gotenks. He beat stage 1 for the first time in his The Elite Challenge career in the last tournament. He's been largely dogged by the Crash Mountain, Crash Valley family of obstacles in the past, but he's got double the motivation after losing a bet in Halo matchmaking. I've agreed to double or nothing it. If he gets to stage 3, doesn't have to pay out. So Gotenks with more pressure than most competitors on his shoulders. All the way up to the top of the wall in good time. Now going for the waveform. Drops in. Straight at it. Makes the first transfer. Now goes for the second. Lands that as well. Lines up the third. Gets to the landing platform. Now onto the curtain slider. First ledge to the second. To the third. Goes up high. Drops back down low. Gotenks starting to build the speed back up again. 72 seconds. On the final ledge. Makes the jump to the coat hangers. Now up high. And starts to skip all the way to the bottom. Makes the landing on the triple fire escapes with over a minute to go. Gotenks going very fast so far. Starts to climb. Second ladder. Choosing to stick to the middle of the ladders once again, but this time it's caught him. That narrow ledge, he slipped down. Had to go back again. Needs to keep his composure. Onto the third ladder. All the way up to the top goes Gotenks. Makes it up, 31 seconds, 30 seconds to go. That's a good ball cycle, and Gotenks straight into Crash Mountain. Jumping away, and he gets pushed back, and he saves it. That was a very late save by Gotenks. It keeps him in the game. And Gotenks flying now up through Crash Mountain. He gets pushed back once, twice, thrice, and hits the buzzer. 9.68 seconds. Gotenks may be living on the edge, but he's still alive in this tournament. Back to stage 2 for the second tournament in a row for Gotenks. And now, 3 competitors remain. And they are 3 very strong names indeed. The first one is Icaria, formerly known as Trials of JD, formerly known as Vinzika. Icaria looking to get back to stage 2. He'll be another competitor getting there for his 6th time if he does, but he's been to stage 3 twice. So Icaria has lofty ambitions for results on the Elite Challenge. Beats the Wrecking Ball easy enough. Now into Framed. Quickly back and forth for Icaria. Skips to the 5th window. Now starts to climb on the wall. All the way up to the top. 102 seconds at the top of the wall and dropping into the waveform. Icaria moving very quickly so far. Always approaches many of these obstacles with confidence. On stage 1, the only one he says he's worried about is the balls. And Icaria proving that well so far. He even makes the ledge skip on the curtain slider. All the way to the end, now on to the coat hangers. First hanger up to the top of the 2nd, to the 3rd. Starting to pick the pace up, starting to go for the skips. Icaria to the end of the coat hangers. Big jump now. Triple fire escape, 65 seconds or so on landing, and Icaria sticking to the right hand side. Second set of ladders. Now Icaria moving forward, climbing well. 50 seconds to the 3rd ladder. Getting his way, making progress, and now this is what he's worried about. Crash Mountain. We've seen it already claim a few people. Snoz and Rog, just to name a few. Icaria waiting for a gap in the traffic. And he's instantly getting rolled back. Icaria nearly rolled off the edge, but he saves it. Big jump, starts to get over the top of the balls. They're starting to come at him faster and faster. 20 seconds to go for Icaria. Punching his way through. He's got a bit of a break to make some progress. Final couple of balls now. Gets just about avoids that one. 10 seconds. The buzzer starts to sound and Icaria gets to the button. 6.62 seconds remaining. And Icaria, just like Fireball, just like Free, 6 appearances on Tournament 2. On Stage 2, should I say. Way to go, Icaria. Next up, we have Vulcan, who is another competitor chasing a 6th Stage 1 clear. But unlike the others, Vulcan never actually failed Stage 1. This is his 6th tournament. Can he continue his 100% streak? Was the first place finisher back in Tournament 6, came runner-up in Tournament 7, and Vulcan was very confident in Tournament 7 about a win. Disappointed to come up short, looking to go better and take that top spot once again. Through Framed with relative ease, now up the wall. Vulcan, still dressed like Iron Man, looking to try and levitate his way up through, but Vulcan starting to uncharacteristically need a few saves on the wall there. Now needing to pick the pace back up again, and sure enough he does. Vulcan makes the last transfer to the landing platform, now onto the curtain slider. Starts off high. Vulcan save jumps. Goes up very high again. Continues on the high route. Makes his way through, goes for the skip. Vulcan makes it. 2nd coat hanger. 3rd. 4th. To the 6th. To the 8th. And lands it. Now on the triple fire escape. 56 seconds to go. And Vulcan slips down. Come on, Vulcan, get it together. Starts to climb again. 45 seconds at the top of the first ladder. And Vulcan, he's disorientated. Somebody's just died in the background. But Vulcan, it's taking a minute to figure out where the next ladders are. He knows where they are now though, makes the jump, 30 seconds to go, and he's still got some climbing to do. And now Vulcan all the way up to the top. The last thing standing between him and 100% is the Crash Mountain. And Vulcan choosing to hug that right hand side, makes good progress, starts jumping the balls. Vulcan, he's gonna make it. No, he isn't. Vulcan at the very last gets tagged by a ball and down and out. And that is gonna go down as a big shame. Vulcan defeated for the first time on stage 1. And what will that do to the psyche of the only man that beat him in the last tournament? This is Weapon Matt. Weapon Matt, another competitor. He's never been defeated by a stage 1 obstacle. Running out of time back in tournament 3, but he's 4 stage 1 clears in a row, looking to make that 5. Weapon Matt with a deep run all the way to stage 3 in the last tournament, with the second furthest run ever on the Elite Challenge. Coming out on the Trust Ball. He's got a way to go to get back there though, but Weapon Matt has the ability to get there. Starts to climb up on the wall using that right hand side. Weapon Matt, final ledge up to the top, beats the wall, now runs towards the waveform, drops in early, keeps the momentum. First transfer easy enough, now going for the second, makes it, saves, lines up the dismount, he makes it with a bit of a slide. Weapon Matt now into the curtain slider, first ledge, second to the third, has to save, goes up high, back down low. Weapon Matt starting to build that pace back up again to the final ledge. Weapon Matt, oh no, he's not got onto the first coat hanger. Weapon Matt down and out, and that also is a big shock. So 2 big surprising eliminations to finish out stage 1, but that will leave us with 13 stage 1 clears, with Fireball being the fastest with 24.08 seconds, ahead of Smokey Massacre, the newcomer Captain J, both finishing with above 18 seconds. Fremo Direct back for the 6th time, as well as Mighty Max beating the buzzer. Gotanks at 9.68 seconds, ahead of Disappoint with Akari, Pedroman, Junsato Cyan, Shadowrun 132, Caden Wyatt, and the Worker of Meme all making it through to the 2nd stage. And let's see what will be in store for them. Stage 2 largely unchanged since the last tournament. Starts off once more with the pyramid scheme, the 3 big pyramids with the climbing ledges, or the climbing pegs, should I say. Big slide for the dismount into the mine shaft. Make your way along the corridor and up the climb using the ledges all the way up to the 2nd tier. Then you can make the transfer out onto the Olympic rings, the 5 satellite dishes that have been proving so difficult in previous tournaments for the competitors. Make your way across those, and the Mongoose Cliffhanger awaits. Another challenge for many of the newer jumpers in the community. Make your way along the angled ledge on the Mongoose and straight into the U-turn with the big wall ride corner with the dangerous drop on the edge. Make your way down from there, and then the vehicle ramps, an exercise in throttle control. 3 separate ramps into the landing platform with a spare Mongoose if needed to take on the 7th and final obstacle on this stage, the French Twist. The twisted path where we have to make your way from one face to the other and make your way along to the buzzer, the French Twist proving a great final boss of the stage. Make it to the end and detonate the landmine within the now 100-second time limit, and you'll be heading on to stage 3. Let's see if anyone can make it that far. First up, we have stage 2 debutant. This is Captain J09 making his The Elite Challenge debut. A very strong run on debut it is, making it to stage 2. First time, in fact, since Fluffy Bee that a newcomer has made it to the 2nd stage. And Captain J, 100 seconds into the pyramid scheme, makes the climb up to the top of the first pyramid, over the top, slides to the 2nd, over the top, slides to the 3rd, makes the landing. Captain J, very strong performance in stage 1. It was come to expected after watching the practice. Stage 2 as well. Captain J did look strong, Now he's defeated the mineshaft, now into the Olympic rings. This is the first truly difficult test of the second stage, and Captain J makes it look like light work. Now onto the Mongoose Cliffhanger. This Halo parkour competitor, not the greatest on the Mongoose by his own admission, but he's doing well so far. Captain J through the Mongoose Cliffhanger, now onto the U-turn. Heads straight into it with gusto, big high line, lands it. And now Captain J onto the vehicle ramps, going for the first ramp to the second. Goes for the landing, and he gets run over by his own goose. Oh, that's a real shame. Captain J had plenty of time in the bank, but he got hit by the Mongoose when he dismounted. Will Shadowrun 132 have learned anything from that? He's grabbed the sniper rifle. Of course, the Elite Challenge now allowing a different variety of weaponry. How will Shadowrun's choice of arsenal affect him on the second stage? Well, he's chosen to shoot the pyramid straight off the bat as his 100 seconds begin. Shadowrun starts to climb, making his stage 2 debut. He's choosing, instead of going over the top, he's going around the side of that second pyramid. Now climbing up to the top of the third one, up and over, sliding down the backside, and now into the mineshaft. Making his way along the corridor is Shadowrun. Up the ledges, choosing to skip. Sticking to the left wall. Sticking to the left all the way along, and Shadowrun nearly slides off the top. But he manages to recover it, and now he's down and out on the Olympic rings. Shadowrun coming up short of the second antenna. Big shame there. Next up we have Disappoint 2919. Another stage 2 debutant. How will he fare? 100 seconds on the clock. Disappoint is underway. Straight into the pyramid scheme. Choosing to zigzag up the ledges on the first one, up and over the top. Uses the momentum of the dismount once again. Now onto the third pyramid, climbing up that front face, up and over the top. Gets the dismount into the mineshaft corridor. Down the corridor, up the shaft. Using that cross beam in the window. Getting up to the tippity top. Final jump. Beats the mineshaft. Now onto the Olympic rings. Disappoint. Manages to save it on that second antenna. Goes for the third. Makes the jump. Saves it. Goes for the fourth. To the fifth. And Disappoint beats the Olympic rings. Now onto the Mongoose Cliffhanger. Backing up for a bit of momentum. Trying to line up the entry. Gets the drop down, and he spins the tail around. Disappoint down and out. But a game for stage 2 performance. And up next, bring a turret with him to stage 2. Very confident Junsato Cyan. Very confident about stage 1. Significantly less about stage 2. So how will Cyan go? I believe that is Super Ninja Jake there wishing him well. After already being eliminated, but Cyan, 100 seconds onto the course. Starts to climb up the first pyramid. To the top, up and over. Choosing to jump to the second one. Instead of using the slide and the momentum. Likewise to the third. Cyan, saving it. Jumping, climbing, up and over the top. Makes the drop into the mineshaft. And Cyan, down the corridor. Makes the jump to the ledge, doesn't go for the skip. Goes back and forth. Using the window. Now back and still not skipping, going back and forth. Cyan. Not trying to save time, just trying to make progress onto the first ring. To the second. Saves it. Lines up the third. Makes it to the third. To the fourth. Nearly overjumps it. Manages to save and pull it back. Cyan. Lining up the fifth. And all the way across. Junsato Cyan beats the Olympic rings. And another competitor onto the Mongoose Cliffhanger. And just like Disappoint, Cyan taking his time trying to line it up. But just like Disappoint as well, he swings the back end round and straight down. Junsato Cyan's strong run is over. Now up next is Caden Wyatt 21, the first competitor through with experience of this stage. Will that come in handy? 100 seconds on the clock, and away goes Caden Wyatt onto the pyramid scheme. First ledge, second, third. To to the fourth, Caden choosing to take a second to line things up. Gets the momentum off the slide. Saves it on the second pyramid. Once again taking a moment to line things up. Up and over the top. Down the backside onto the third pyramid. Saves it. Starts to climb again. To the top, Caden. Big jump across. Uses the momentum. Makes it to the mineshaft. Along the corridor. Now onto the first ledge. Skips to the third. To the window. Now to the fourth ledge. Skips to the sixth. No, he doesn't. He comes up short and Caden can't catch it. Caden Wyatt down and out on the mineshaft. Next up we have the Worker of Meme. In his previous attempt at stage 2, he was defeated by the time limit. So how will Meme get on today? 100 seconds on the clock. And away goes the Worker of Meme. Into the pyramid scheme. Starting to climb up that front face, up and over the top. Big jump to the second pyramid. He's going to land it. To the top once again. Meme actually taking a second to land on the spike of the top of the pyramid. Now Meme slips back down, gets back up, uses the slide into the mineshaft. Down the corridor, hopping from rung to rung. Jumps to the ledge. Also, just like Cyan, choosing not to skip the ledges. Will take you more time, but Meme has obviously proven in the past he's not worried about the clock. He just wants to try and get far. Makes the jump now, and oh, he slid over, but he's managed to save it further down. The Worker of Meme manages to pull that back. Very good job from Meme. Living on the edge, but that's going to really hurt his time as he's going to make a second attempt. Sticks it on the second attempt, and now into the Olympic rings. 40 seconds left on the clock for Meme. To the fourth ring, now to the fifth. Big dismount, lands it onto the Mongoose cliffhanger, knows he's got to go. 30 seconds to go for Meme, doesn't really take the time to line it up, just goes for it and has the confidence to line it up himself. Now onto the U-turn, backs it up the wall. Meme, big spin, but he lands it. The Worker of Meme catches the landing on the U-turn, now onto the vehicle ramps. First ramp to the second, to the third, lands it on the platform, and another competitor getting pushed off by their own Mongoose. And down and out goes the Worker of Meme. Time very much was against him though, but that is his first actual failure of an obstacle on stage 2. Up next is Smokey Massacre, and it's been a long time since he's been to this stage. Lots of things have changed. But Smokey, a very strong Halo jumping competitor, probably, well, definitely in the conversation for the greatest of all time, probably easily up there. So he should be able to adapt to this new stage 2 without too much of an issue. And Smokey making light work on the pyramids, using the knowledge of the blocks that he's got from forging his own course to run up the angle on that third pyramid and straight down the mine shaft. Making quick progress, ledge to ledge to ledge, to the one at the back, beats the mine shaft. Now onto the Olympic rings. Second to the third, quickly to the fourth. Nobody slid off. Smokey down and out on the fourth of the Olympic rings. Next up is Pedro Man 618. This is his third time on stage 2. Pedro into the course, up the first pyramid, all the way up to the top. Makes the jump down. And Pedro climbing once again, now to the third pyramid. All the way up to the top and over the top, slides down, gets the landing into the mine shaft. Pedro making his way down the corridor. First climbing ledge, second to the beam. Camera flies into the roof of the mine shaft, but Pedro keeps it cool, composed, and on the move. And Pedro, no, he's up short on the very first Olympic ring. That's a shock from Pedro. Next up is FreeMMO Direct, and he has beaten stage 2 before. So Free knows what it takes to get to the end of this stage. Can he do it again? 100 seconds and 7 obstacles between him and the finish. Free starts to climb up the pyramid scheme all the way to the top, up and over. Makes the jump to the second pyramid, catches it. Up and over again to the third. Free climbing very quickly indeed. Now sliding into the mineshaft. Making his way along the corridor. Free Direct starts to climb all the way to that first ledge, that first beam, all the way up to the second and straight into the Olympic rings, wasting no time at all. Free very quickly through all the way to the third, to the fourth, to the fifth, and to the landing platform. 1 minute to go for Free as he lines up the Mongoose cliffhanger. Free Direct, one of the biggest improvements in vehicular handling since his first few tournaments. Makes it round the U-turn with ease, lands it, gets it pointing in the right direction, still has 45 seconds to go, tackling the vehicle ramps. Free, second, third, doesn't run himself over, changes Mongoose, now lining up for the French twist. 35 seconds to go, Free's got time, whether he can beat the obstacle. Leaves it for a late transfer, slows it down, grinds it across the top. Free, he's still got 2 wheels off, can he pull them back? Free, the obstacle's trying to beat him up. It doesn't blow up the mine at the first time of asking, but does at the second, jumps off, punches it, had the time to do so. 19.14 seconds, Free Direct back to stage 3 for the 3rd time in his career on the Elite Challenge. Congratulations, Free. We still have some competitors to go in stage 2. Will any of them join him? Next up is Mighty Max 80. This is his 3rd stage 2 appearance and the 3rd one on the bounce. How will he fare? He came up short on this stage in the last tournament. Will he be able to learn from past mistakes? Up and over the first pyramid. Onto the second. Climbing up to the top. Up and over for the third. Lands it. Climbing up that third pyramid. Big slide, gets the jump into the mineshaft. Here comes Mighty Max. Down the corridor, going from crossbeam to crossbeam. Now onto the climbing ledges. First, straight to the third, straight to the beam. Then the fourth, to the sixth. The seventh at the back. Back to the crossbeam. Only just making it, but Mighty Max only just is just enough. Onto the second ring. And he comes up short on the third. Mighty Max down and out. That's a shame. Next up, we have Fireball ZXZ. This is his 6th attempt at the second stage. He's yet to defeat it though. Can today be the first? Straight into the pyramid scheme. 100 seconds on the clock for Fireball. Up and over the top to the second pyramid. Now to the third. Up the ledges, sliding down the back, makes it into the mineshaft. Fireball making quick progress down the corridor. Now he starts to climb to the crossbeam, to the fourth ledge, 6th, 7th. Fireball 70 seconds onto the Olympic rings. First ring, second ring, third, fourth, fifth. Fireball all the way across. Now he's onto the Mongoose cliffhanger, and he makes the transfer onto the angled ledge. Fireball making his way across. Now onto the U-turn. He memorably failed this a couple of tournaments ago when he got stuck. No such thing today. Fireball with a 360 lands it. It's even pointed in the right direction. Now down onto the vehicle ramps. And Fireball, he too, he gets hit, but he manages to save it. The Mongooses today desperately seem to be trying to knock people off, but Fireball saved it using the French twist. Has to go back for the Mongoose, but Fireball now onto the obstacle. He's going for a far earlier transfer than Free. He's grinding along the top. Fireball makes it to the opposite face. Now can he deal with the bumps? He's all over the place. Left, right. Fireball makes it to the edge. Dismounts, hits the button. 14.33 seconds, and Fireball, for the first time in his The Elite Challenge career, has defeated stage 2. And he, just like Free, will go to stage 3. Way to go, Fireball. Now up next is Gotenks, competitor 47. And on his head there is 20 bucks riding on this stage. If he gets to stage 3, doesn't have to pay up. Will that pressure get to him? 100 seconds onto the pyramid schemes. Gotenks going around the peak. Oof, nearly comes up short on the transfer there. Gotenks now starts to climb the second pyramid up and over the top. And he slides straight down and out. Gotenks out very early on stage 2. That is a shame. And now Ikaria, the last man on stage 2. He's here for his 6th appearance. Just like Free and Fireball. And Free and Fireball both cleared. So will Ikaria make it 3 competitors on their 6th appearance in the same tournament at this stage make it through? He's on the pyramid scheme. Hasn't really had much trouble with this in the past. Up and over, straight into the mine shaft. Ikaria down the cross beams. First ledge, straight to the 3rd, then to the beam again. Then skipping on the 2nd set of ledges, straight now into the Olympic rings. 1st ring, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Makes the dismount, now onto the Mongoose cliffhanger for Ikaria. Wasting no time going on to that angled road. And off now up onto the U-turn. Navigates the bumps well. Ikaria makes to the landing platform. Now onto the vehicle ramps. 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Lands it. No, Ikaria's overshot and down and out. And that is a shame for Ikaria. And that will round out stage 2. And this time only 2 competitors remain, Free Direct and Fireball ZXZ. Free with 19.14 seconds and Fireball with a very respectable 14.33 seconds still on the clock for stage 2. Both not anywhere close to being phased by the time limit, and both moving on to stage 3. For Free Direct, this is the 3rd time for Fireball. This will be the 1st. Let's see what awaits them. Stage 3, just like stage 2, hasn't really gone under much of a change. The first obstacle awaiting the competitors, the same as in the last tournament, is the Disaster Box. The concrete structure with the ledges make it up, down, and onto the safety platform, then onto the pointy path. The orange cones make your way across the gap onto the landing platform, and then you're greeted with Dangerous, the hanging passageway with the fence panels to get across. Make it through there and you're on to the cliffhanger. One big wall having to zigzag back and forth across the face as you climb all the way to the top, and then make your way down the trust fall. This vertical drop with a platform to bounce off of. Direct yourself in the direction of the landing platform, and then the globe grasp will be awaiting you. This is where Free Direct came up short way back in Tournament 3, and the trust fall was where Weapon Mat went out in the last tournament, so this, all from this point on, has yet to really be attempted. The Barracuda ladder, named after the aggressive fish, as it's more aggressive than a salmon. Then on to the carrot sticks. Make your way down the obstacle, round the corner at the end, and then you're greeted with the Doom Gaps, slightly adjusted since the last tournament. The series of corner jumps along the back of the obstacle. Make it past them and you're greeted with the Destiny Rails. The climb towards the end platform of stage 3. Make the big jump and you're weighted with the button. No time limit, so anyone who will make it that far gets a crack at stage 4. Nobody's gotten there yet. Will today be the day that changes? First up is Free Direct for his 3rd attempt at stage 3. I'm very happy to get this far. He's very eager to take on and defeat the Globe Grasp that took him out way back when. And you got the cliffhanger in between now and then. But Free waiting at the start line. Getting himself focused. Ready to go. First obstacle that awaits him is the Disaster Box. And Free really taking his time. Getting zoned in. Ready to go. His 3rd attempt at this stage. Free Direct. No time limit. off he goes, lining up for the disaster box. The first set of ledges are a climb, followed by a drop. Free, first ledge, to the second, to the third. Lines up the fourth, all the way up to the top, up and over. The next set of ledges are really about taking momentum out on the descent. Free makes it down the drops perfectly fine. Back to another climb. Back and forth between the walls, up to the top. One more set of descending ledges. Free makes it, takes the momentum out, gets to the safety platform, now onto the pointy path. Jumps from the first cone to the second, saving to the third. Almost over jump, so you can see him slipping off, but fights it with a save. Lines up the next jump. Again, choosing to save it. To the fifth. To the sixth. Free now lining up the seventh. Makes it across. Lands it safely onto dangerous. Makes his way into the passage. Choosing to hug the sides to avoid the low ceiling in the middle. Frame mode direct makes it all the way across. Now onto the cliffhanger. In practice, this has given him a lot of grief. Had to go round in circles a number of times on this obstacle, but Free attacking the first pass. Now onto the second. Likewise, choosing to go for speed. Starts to slow down and get a bit more methodical towards the end of the second pass. Now onto the third pass. This is where the wall starts to angle back against you. And Free making his way across. Now onto the drums. First drum. Lines it up. Second. Third. Up onto the barrier. Lands it on the next one. Big sprint to the next drum. Free lands it, sticks it, saves it. And he overjumps the next one, but Free, he manages to catch himself further down. Thanks to the unique design of this cliffhanger, that is possible, and Free gets himself another chance. But that's surely have got to have got the heart rate going. He's got to maintain his focus now, back up the drums. As the wall angled back against you. You have to be very careful. Makes his way across, now onto the barriers. Big sprint to the drum. Makes the transfer this time. Now he has to go back out and around the piping unit. Free. Trying to line himself up. Saves it onto the pipe. Now the big jump to the narrow ledge. And again to the one that's more angled. Free MMO Direct. He beats the cliffhanger. Now on to the Trust Ball. This was what took out Weapon Matt in the last tournament. Free lining up the drop, chooses to jump into it, back across, gets the bounce, lands it. Now onto the Globe Grasp. This is where he went out before in Free MMO Direct. This is a new personal best for him and a new course record for the Elite Challenge. Making his way across the flying spheres. Making strong progress as well. He's only got 2 more to go. 1 more to go. Free. It's a descent. Lands it and makes it to safety. Now onto the Barracuda ladder. This is the first time this has been attempted in competition. Free's had a play on it in practice. Let's see how he can turn that into a performance on the actual run. Free MMO Direct. Second ladder. Having to go in and out. Differing angles, differing distances. Makes this a incredibly harsh obstacle, but Free dealing with it okay. He's slipping down though. Back to the bottom. Starts to make progress again. Free. Makes it. Next ledge. And he slides again. Free MMO Direct struggling. He's battling with the obstacle. Manages to get to safety again. Third time's the charm. Third ledge. 4. To the 5th. Out to the 6th. Now to the 7th. To the 8th. 9th ledge for Free. No. Second time. Yes. To the 10th. 11th ledge for Free. 1 more and he's good. Come on, Free. Yep. Lands it. Now he's up through onto the carrot sticks. Free choosing to take a moment, get himself centered into the carrot stick. Second stick. save jumping. To the third. To the fourth. Free's got a strategy. Fifth ledge. Sixth. Seventh. Free MMO Direct making good progress. Keeping himself squared away, giving himself a save each time, and Free Direct defeats the carrot sticks. He's now the first person to attempt the Doom Gaps in competition. Free trying to line it up. It's differing distances of corner jumps. The walls stick out differing distances, as well as the ceilings being lowered. So plenty of challenge for Free. He's taking a moment to view what he's got ahead of him. First ledge. Done. Second. To the third. To the fourth. Now this one's a big one. 3 block skips. Free MMO Direct makes it. Now the low ceiling. Makes that one as well. Saves it. To a narrow ledge. And Free making good progress. He can make it to the end from here, and he skips to the final platform. All that's left now between him and the finish line is the Destiny rails. Free keeping it low. Gets himself back to the center. Up to the second rail. Now to the third. Big jump up to the fourth. No, Free comes up short and he bounces out. Free MMO Direct down and out with a huge personal best though, but coming up just short. And all that leaves one man remaining in the competition. This is Fireball ZXZ. This is his debut on stage 3. Owly Fair. Straight into the disaster box, taking far less time than Free did to get himself ready for the course. Fireball up and over into the first descent. Takes the momentum out. Lands it. Now onto the second climb. Fireball back to the wall. Makes his way up the second set of climbs. All the way to the top. Now dropping in again, choosing to skip the first ledge, but Fireball makes it. Yes, he does. Too quick for the camera there, Fireball, and he's absolutely flying across the pointy path. Fireball feeling a lot more comfortable, it seems, at speed as he makes the landing. Now onto Dangerous. And Fireball just straight down the center, making it look easy. And now onto the cliffhanger. Skips the first ledge entirely. First pass, just like Free, very aggressive all the way across. Now making his way back. And up the wall. Fireball, speed still high. Onto the barrels. Now onto the third cross where the wall starts to angle against you. Those barrels as well also angled, so easier to slip off. Fireball to the first. Turns himself around to the second, saves it. Lining himself up for something. Oh, he goes to the third barrel. Thought for a minute he was going to try and skip the barriers. Here comes Fireball, lining it up. To the barrier, makes it to the second barrier. Goes for the big sprint to the drum, lands it. Second drum. Now around the pipe to the third, up onto the pipe. Now going for the ledges. Fireball making very, very strong progress. Up to those very narrow pegs and across the top, and Fireball defeats the cliffhanger. Next up for him is the Trustful. As we zoom out, Fireball lining up the drop. Taking a moment to get everything sorted. Now drops into it. Makes the bounce and makes the landing platform. Now Fireball greeted with the Globe Grasp. First ball, second to the third, to the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. Fireball a lot quicker through that than Free. Fireball comfortable at speed, it seems. Now onto the Barracuda ladder. First ledge for Fireball, up to the second. Trying to get to that third ledge, fourth, fifth. Fireball starting to get momentum up, but he gets knocked back down. saves it, having another crack. Still struggling at that same point that Free was, but he makes it around. Fireball back to climbing all the way up to the top, and Fireball defeats the Barracuda ladder. And the second competitor ever onto the carrot sticks. Back and forth across the gaps. Fireball making it look simple up to this point. Beats the carrot sticks, rounds the corner towards the doom gaps. So fast the camera's struggling to keep up. Fireball, first gap to the second. Goes for the third. This is the big one, 3 blocks gap to clear here and get back in, and Fireball doesn't make it, he comes up short. And that is Fireball down and out. And all 50 competitors once again defeated up until stage 3. But competitors getting further and further with more PBs being set every time. Free Direct takes his third first place finish on the final obstacle of stage 3. What will that mean for the next time? Stay tuned for the Elite Challenge Tournament 9 coming very soon. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.